Hey, good Friday, good Friday, good Friday from Northwest. Here is your friend, your enthusiast, your athletic enthusiast, Joel Chesemet. This is Ponde la Riada, Ponde la Riada. Man, I commissioned it. Well, I asked for your opinion. You're taking your time. So I do what I call dictatorship. There's no democracy here, man. Dictatorship, man. I said, let's go. Ponde la Ufa, episode number 42. Let's let it keep rolling. Because you know why? The party of life continues. Whether you are there or not. You snooze, you lose. Hello, my friend. Don't feel bad. I can always change. I'm flexible. I'm very flexible. I'm a Democrat. I'm not announcing my candidates here, but hey, if you vote for me, you're going to have a big platform to talk about life. Well, it's a good Friday indeed. It's been sunny. The weather has been challenging. It's been a little bit warmer than usual the last few days. So as a weatherman, I'm just telling you out there, make sure you drink water, man. Make sure you drink any liquid. It helps. Cheers to you and cheers to me. Life goes on and life is beautiful. Talking of beautiful, I think there's a blueprint for human beings that has endured many ages, many disregard, maybe, I don't know. Depending on me, you ask. I think it's a manual for humanity. If it's taken, depending on whom you ask, if it's taken with some grace. And I think this blueprint talks about what love can do, how it can be an antidote to our illness, maybe our mental health, maybe to our loneliness, because it seems love covers all kind of sins, man. I don't know it does it, but I think there's a place for love here. And it's coming from me to you again, because love seems to obliterate, or where there's love, there's no fear. Where there's love, there's community. There's an ecosystem. There's a symbiotic approach to life. There's a unity to life. There's a little bit of a moment of grace and a moment of appreciation. So I recommend love. I prescribe love. I pass love to you. If you can receive it, the sponge of your life will have something to give too. So love covers all sins. That's from the blueprint of humanity. And it's me again. Having said all that, I'll just plunge myself into the subject that gets me going, man. I went on a bike ride today. I have an old bike from the 70s. It's a Raleigh. I think it's made in England. Why am I in England all the time I talk? I love my bike. It's an old little skunky. It grinches, makes all kind of noise, but it gets me around. It's a 3-speed. Love it. I mean, I've been an enthusiast of biking since I was 9. I used to steal bikes of guests who come to visit my dad, my family. They leave it there. I have to use it. I mean, you can't just sit there. That's how I learned how to be an enthusiast of being a cyclist. So I love biking. I just enjoy the pedaling. It's in the pedaling. And that wind just going back to your face and you feeling it. It's the best thing you can ever do. Imagine 2 wheels and it all depends on you. It's not about the handle. It's not about the handle. It's about pedaling. Pedal yourself to any size of the universe you can go. I'm a bike enthusiast. I'm a runner enthusiast. In fact, talking of enthusiasm, I wish I had a motorbike, but I think it's a very dangerous mode of transportation. But it's a good thing. I think my wife has told me now, I don't think you are safe enough. But she's right, because my dad used to have one. It's a Yamaha 1000cc. And I remember back in the days, man, we used to live in Nyandarua, those sides of Kipyegon. And when I saw my dad on that motorbike, I was like, man, one day I'll own one. Never owned one. I think the reason is because I remember my dad was coming from Nairobi one time, and he had had a very close call with those big buses in Kenyan roads. They can be brutally and deadly and fatal. And I think he came home that night, and I could tell something had happened. The story goes that, I'll just be very simple. He said that he had to get in the bushes to save his life. He came back, the next day he sold it. Maybe that's why I've never got into a motorbike. But I remember too, he later he reclaimed his love for the means of transportation back then. It was easier for him to go different places. And he kind of found himself again riding a motorbike. And that's how I learned how to ride a motorbike. I think he knew I was the guy, because every time he came home, it was full of mud, maybe in those areas, because that's how I learned. I remember one time I got on the motorbike and it flew so high, I was like, well, this is how people check out. Anyway, enough of me, huh? Let's get back to track and field, because I like to talk about myself. I think I just get carried away, which is good, because track and field is still alive, my friend. I think I misspoke last time when I talked to you. I gave you a hint that the season is over. It's not over. The Romans didn't say it's over. They were back in Rome, the Colosseum, this morning. According to my time, I think it was evening in Rome. They were in Italy. Italiano, my friend. And because you didn't watch it, I'll help you update what happened. Because the medalists, the Olympiads, from Paris 2024 Olympics, they are still enjoying what we call post-Paris showcase. They are still showcasing themselves. They are still rolling out there to make a living. That's how they make a living, by the way, because you just can't win a medal. Medal cannot bring you food. So I've told you that these athletes go out there and they have to make a living. And so they are going around, and they were in Rome this morning or this evening, depending on where you are. And so he has a few nuggets for you to enjoy as the weekend rolls by. I know there's a lot of Premier guys out there. Premier weekend. Chelsea are playing Crystal Palace. Watch that. It's a must-watch show. Arsenal, what are they playing? I don't know. I think Liverpool, Manchester United is the biggest game out there. Why? Ask enthusiasts. They'll tell you why. Anyway, back to track. The Jamaican won the 100-meter hurdles in the women. I think she ran the best time of the year. Najent, yeah, N-U-G-E-N-T, depending on me. Jamaicans can pronounce it better than me. As for me, she won. It was a good race. I enjoyed that. I give her that. Then we move on to discus. I'm just giving you a highlight here. We had discus event, and my boy Roger Stoner, he wasn't stoned this time, like I told you last time. The Jamaican Nightmare could not survive, or he could not win this time. He settled for second place. There's a guy from Czech. His name is Christian Cha. He took that discus, man, and he said, I'm from Czechoslovakia. Checkmate. I like playing with words. I love it. Checkmate. In his last throw, man, 68 meters. I don't know whether you understand what 68 is. It's a long way from where I'm sitting, and it's gonna land somewhere, and that's how he won. Well done to that dude. And then I think we quickly moved to track. I went back to the track. This was just field event. We went back to track, and the women had a lot to say in this meet in Rome. The steeplechase women, man, I saw the lineup. I was salivating. I was like, man, I wish I was there in the front line with my camera and my notebook. Because I think one day, if it ever happens, I'll go to Eugene and I'll be right there where things happen, and I'll be reporting to you, hey, you see that? Yeah, you see that? Because I love track and field, man. So steeplechase, 3,000 women. The medalists were there. The 1, 2, 3. You remember them? Winfried Yavi from Bahrain. And then Chemutai from Uganda was there, the silver medalist. And Babyface Cherotich was there. I was like, Okay, Chero, go ahead, make it happen. What does she do? Well, let me tell you. Let me take a sip. Um, when you watch a lineup of Olympians and they were the top three, what do you expect to see in a race in Rome? Almost the same replay. It was the same replay. A template from Paris, because they had a rabbit. The rabbit is a pacemaker. She was supposed to extend them, stretch them out to 1,000 meters, 1K. I think she had to retire prematurely because Chemutai from Uganda got impatient. It reminds me of Chepkoech. They get impatient. When athletes are in shape and you're supposed to be the front guy, pulling them along, and you don't keep up, they'll just tell you, adios, amigos. They did that to the pacemaker, and Chemutai took on. And then there was Yavi, the Bahrainian, and then Faith Cherotich was there. It was 1, 2, 3 as it unfolded again, like a replay of the Olympics. At the end of it all, I knew what was going to happen when it came to the last penultimate lap, the 400 meters to go. There goes Yavi, the Bahrainian. Man, I don't know how to slow that one down, because they were on some pace that could have broken the world record, which is 8:44 for women. Plus, there's a little bit over some microseconds. They were on it. But I think something happens too, where the pace kind of dips slightly, because the pacemaking wasn't great. So let's begin with that. And then Chemutai took on. At a certain point, I think she looked behind, and the protagonist, nemesis, Yavi, was breathing down her throat, and I think they slowed it down. But they didn't slow it down to a level whereby they could not recuperate or come back for the record, which is 8:44. I don't remember She missed it by microseconds. All she had to do was lean. But she put her, if you watch the race, she did what she could do. Coming off the water barrier, which I didn't see this before. But this woman from Bahrain, Yavi, she handles it. So remember, there's a barrier which doesn't forgive, and then there's a water which you have to dip, and then you have to take off. Most Kenyans don't step on that barrier. They handle it. So they go bam, over the barrier, barely in the water, and they're gone. That's a Kenyan thing. And I saw that with Yavi and Faith Cherotich. I tell you what, I don't think I've tried steeplechase in my life, but that takes a lot of strength. It takes a lot of, I don't know what. You have to be very flexible to handle a barrier plus water. And I saw that with her, and I think even in the Olympics, she did the same thing. And I watched that, and I was like, wow, she can, because it depends on how you come out of the water. If you are coming out of the water like you've been baptized, the Holy Ghost is going to slow you down. Yeah, it does slow you down. The Holy Ghost is supposed to be a slowing mechanism. But so you have to get out and handle that thing and get out of there. She does that because Chemutai had made a little bit of a challenge at the last 200 meters. Yavi, Winfred Yavi, former Kenyan, now runs for Bahrain. She's just great. She took off after that. She would have broken the world record. She misses it by what we call microseconds. And she runs at 8:44, which is still fast for women. So she wins that event. Brilliant lady. I think she's on top of her game. I think she's gonna be somebody to watch down the road. And let me tell you something. I think she's one of those ladies. If she's around, she's gonna win. So it doesn't matter where she is. So she does that, and it was beautiful to watch those women do their thing. One, Chemutai was second. She has to be relegated to that position. She's never happy being second. She's one woman who doesn't like losing. It's a great day. I think Faith, she's still young. Faith Cherotich is still young. She tries to close the gap, but those ladies were gone. That was 3,000 steeplechase for you from Rome. I think it was the event of the evening for me because the time was really, very fast. And those women, they just delivered. It was a good day for the medalists showcasing their stuff in the Coliseum in Roma. Then they came, before I let go of the 3,000 steeplechase women, there's some things I watch sometimes during a race that kind of catches my attention. There's a lady from Tunisia. I don't know why I've rooted for underdogs and people who just come from a different environment, different country, different culture. And you can tell our culture is because the way our uniform is not like other ladies' uniform, you know, less clothing, a lot of skin showing. She's from Tunisia, so you know where I'm going with this, very conservative. She has her hair covered, and if it could be 1,000 degrees, that's how she's gonna do it. It's okay with me. And so because of that, sometimes I'm like, man, I like to see her do something in the race. So I've always rooted for her, even during the Olympics. I don't know why, something about me is almost this underdog. I know there is not a popular thing in where she comes from, but she's very popular in my radar. So I'll highlight what happened in this event. So when the race was over, the girls were gathering at the finish line, and you could hear somebody wailing, somebody enthusiasm, you know, over the top, euphoria. There was a lot about euphoria, almost like, what's going on? Marwa Bouzayani from Tunisia, the steeplechaser from Tunisia, had broken a national record. You could not tell that Wilfred Yani had ran the best time. You thought Marwa Bozoyani had won the event. No, she had broken the national record of Tunisia. You know what? She took over that finish line. You could tell she was hugging everybody. It was something to behold. That's what I watch, man. That's why I watch sports. You watch for those moments whereby you know something has hit somebody. And she was fifth. And she ran a 9:04. Let me tell you, even 9:04 is still fast. But that's how she did it. And it was just a beautiful thing to watch. Visibly excited. She was all over the place. She was hugging every participant, every competitor. And it was something to say, you know what? That's why some of us are just nerds. We are just enthusiasts of track and field. I watch for those moments. Marwa Bozoyani from Tunisia broke the national record for Tunisia. Well done. Hold on. I got something. The light is killing me here. It's kind of too bright, so I got to adjust my light. So that was steeplechase for women, and it's good to see ladies. I say this, somebody in the broadcasting was like, when you win, when you do something special, don't contain your joy or excitement. Don't never contain it. I believe in letting it out. You've worked so hard, you've earned it, let it out. So, let it out. Whatever it is you have out there, you big fan, you participant of anything in life, when you're having a moment of, I've done this, I feel good, just go, as long as you are not telling everybody you are the best. You are good as it comes. Oh, I like my necklace. I look good. So, after saying all that, we found ourselves watching men again. They were going back and forth. I'm just giving you the menu. Let me talk about the 5,000 men. I think it was overhyped. That's my opinion. Because the competition was, it was loaded. Gechecha was there, Eregawi, Barega, Arop was there, Hamed was there from Canada. All these guys you saw in the Olympics. And I've been watching the fatigue kicking in too, mostly in distance running, because imagine this, my friend. Back in my time, if you broke 13 minutes and 10 seconds in 5K, you are like on top of the world. The barrier right now is 12 minutes, almost 50 seconds to be relevant, or to break 13 minutes. If you're under 13 these days, you are doing incredibly, like somebody can talk to you, so to speak. You are like, you are there, something to say. You have something to say, because I think the level of competition, the quality of 5,000 meters races has gone way up. The world record is at 12:35, unheard of. And so these guys were expected in this race, 5,000, to be going 60, 61 each lap for 400. I'm talking of 60 seconds. Okay, I'm not talking of 60 minutes. I know some of you, that's how long it takes you to do a lap. Sorry, I had to say that. I'm talking of 60 to 61 seconds per lap, 400 meters. Bam, bam. That was how much they were expecting this race to unfold. Yeah, the first 1K was, it looked that way. The Ethiopians were like taking care of business at the front end. And then there was a little bit of a story changing there. And then there was, I think the third 1K is where things started to show that these guys were, somebody just wanted to win today. And you can tell when they go from 61, 60 to 65, 8, it's just, hey, let me win. And so you have those guys. And then I think as they slow down, the guys who are way back kind of closing the gap on them. And it was what we call tactical. When it comes to tactical, it's going to take somebody who has a ferocious finish, which happened to be Barega. So Barega wins in 12:51. Crop faded, the Kenyan. Crop faded. He tried to crop back in there or something like that. He came in when everybody was piling on and being tactical. And he was a lonely Kenya there. I think Kipyegon was in the whole fight for some glory today. It didn't happen for him. I think he was way back. Crop did well. I think he was fourth or fifth. So that 5,000, the hype was there, but it didn't live up to the hype. It kind of became an anticlimax, so to speak. So that was 5,000 for you. Nothing to really share there. I think it was a reality check of how the season has been unfolding. There's an accumulated fatigue. You think of Olympics. You think of maybe some of them went home. They had to party in their country. And now they're coming to, earn some living. And, they cannot perform that high level. So there it was, 5,000. Barega wins. Aregawi, I think, was second or third or something like that. Gecheche, I think, was within the 1, 2, 3. So the Ethiopians again. I think this is where I start to realize that the supremacy of Ethiopians is still with us. So I'll acknowledge that. The high jump, Taberi, the Italian, I think the Taberi, the Italian, was the crowd appeaser. And he brought the crowd. He's an Italian guy, so the crowd was rooting for him. I think he has suffered to this moment of the season. I think he had a flu. I don't know what he had in the last, after Olympics. I think they say that he had to be hospitalized with some physical issues, health issues, but he's still around. He tried to make the crowd feel proud, which he did. He was in the contention until the last few jumps, in the high jump there. And then his tambourine just seems to have been flat. And the locals were like, okay, you are still a homeboy, which was great. But before they could say still you're a homeboy, here comes my boy from South Korea. There's a South Korean high jumper that I've always said, man, we need his character. His name is Woo. I can't say the other name. Woo. Woo from South Korea went whoa. I think he soared like 2 meters, 30 something, and he wins the high jump. Great day for Woo. He's been around, I think he's in his 30s, and in this competition level, man, when you're in 30s and still doing 230 for high jump, you're doing incredible. I was happy for him. I'm a big fan of this character. He's a crowd pleaser. He plays to the crowd. He jumps to the crowd. He's great. And then, wow, I don't forget pole vault. Because Nina Kennedy, the American, the gold medalist, was here. And she got really excited with the pole vault today, if I may use that, soft landing for me. She showed her supremacy. She showed why she was a gold medalist in this event. Pole vault has become my must-see event. And I watch it as an app, somebody who loves track and field. I don't know why you watch it. But the name Nina brought something that was interesting. I don't know how she got that name because she didn't ask me. Because me and my ex-wife used to have a cat. The cat's name was Nina, Nina. In Swahili, it means I have. So she didn't ask me, but her name is Nina Kennedy. I wish her well. If you are the Kennedy, hey, it's the Kennedys, let them win it. So she wins pole vault. And And I'm happy because it took a cat. It took a cat to climb down the pole vault and get down there. You know, cats are very interesting animals, by the way. You try to throw a cat up, and you think you've thrown the cat up to never figure out how to land. You'll be shocked. Because Nina went up the pole vault and came on the side, gold medalist. Well done, Nina. I just called you a cat. You didn't meow, she was very happy. So I'm happy for Nina Kennedy in pole vault. She did what she has to do. The American wins and the Grand Prix show was great in pole vault for women this time around. And so I think we kind of came to a close when we talk of track and field, because Captain Faith Kipyegon, I didn't know she was there. And then hey, Captain. Hello, Captain Faith Kipyegon. She was there. So I had to bow down. She's a captain. You got to bend your knee, adjust yourself, adjust your shirt. Captain Faith Kipyegon. She's lining up in the 1500 meters, and I had to be silent and watch in reverence, because Captain Faith Kipyegon was about to do her thing. She was about to do her thing. Was she going to do it alone? No. Jessica Hall, the Australian, was there. Who else was there? Some Ethiopians? What was her name? Yeah, they were. The only person I was watching was Faith Kipyegon, the captain. Okay, I'm sorry. I'm that biased, because there's no other captain right now. We have one. Her name is Faith. In Faith we have. How does it unfold the 1500 meters? First lap, 400 meters, you go 59. You know who did that? What's the name of the Ugandan lady? I forgot. She was told to rabbit. She's an 800 meter runner. Then they told her, hey, why don't you rabbit? She's never done it before. She takes off like a true rabbit. The first 400 meters, you don't go 59 if you're trying to break any record in 1500. She was supposed to go 61, maybe 61, maybe 62. No, she just takes off. No, she goes the first lap 59, and then she slows down tremendously. So naivety is not something you'll expect at this level, but there is, because if you have never done pacemaking, okay, I'm just teaching you here as a moment for you to learn, and you have Captain Kipyegon. You have to do what the captain says, because the captain was steering the rest of the athletes back behind her. Jessica Hall, she's been doing very well throughout the season. Don't get me wrong. The last time I think Faith broke the world record, Jessica Hall was the noisemaker back here. She was the one breathing down her throat. Not today. It didn't look like it, because the second lap, the second 400 meters was disaster. I think they went 59.64. So they went 59 seconds and 54. Then everything just shuts down. And when things go down, it's very hard to come up, so to speak. And so that's how that race unfolded. In fact, it was so slow towards the last, coming into the last 200 meters, and you thought these guys are gonna challenge Captain Faith Kipyegon. Then the captain adjusts her hat. I think she adjusted her hat, and she looked at the rear view mirror. She saw who was there, and she just took off. And when she finished, she just came back and says, "Thank you for your competition. Thank you for giving me something to turn my head and look around for." That's what captains do. They acknowledge the competition. That's the beauty of the sport, my friend. Captain Faith Kipyegon runs at 3:51, 3:52 maybe, I don't remember. There's a Kenyan Kipchirchir, very long-legged. I call her lanky-legged. She reminds me of myself, all legs and lungs. All legs and lungs. Yeah, she's tall. And when she's running, you can tell it's all legs. I think she ran a personal best of 3:56, which is good in 1500 meters for a lady. So Jessica Hall, the Australian, faded really bad in the home straight. She really faded very bad. It's interesting how the commentators and the broadcasters are always rooting for somebody. I'm rooting for Faith, and they're rooting for Jessica Hall, which is okay. We all root for somebody. And the fading was just, she went to fourth. I think she was fourth. It's okay, but that's how the world is. We always have somebody. I'm rooting for the Tunisian, Marwa. Hey, hold on a minute. Let me go back to her. Her name is Marwa Bozigahani from Tunisia. I think she is the one who made this Rome Grand Prix athletic show great for me. I root for underdogs. I root for people who come from environments that you and I might not even be able to make it. But so for that, this was for Marwa, the Tunisian. She runs a national record. Kipyegon, captain. You're still the captain. And when you show up, I'm always thrilled to see you. But there's one event I don't want to forget. Let's finish with men, because there was 100 meters men. And my man, Fenidad Omanyala, my Kenyan, the only lonely sprinter we have in Kenya, showed up. I like when he does this thing like that, and I think he does like that, and then he does something like this, and he go pam pam. It's very cute to watch, and he's very precise. Pre-race, before the race, when they're having the camera running around, Omanyala goes tank tank tank, then he goes like this. It's very Omanyala like. He's a character. I think he trains very well with that. I like, it's a trademark. Usain Bolt used to do that. Everybody has something they do. What do I do here? I said, Ponde la ufa. No, Ponde la riada. So, wow. I need to slow down because I really get carried away. So Omanyala had a repertoire. He had a repertoire night in Rome. It didn't go very well. I think the semis and the Olympics disappointment still slowing him down, because it was almost like a de-acceleration for him. People took off and Omanyala was almost backpedaling, so to speak. I didn't have a good night. I think he was 7th out of 8, which tells me the season for him is over. But he's still the only Kenyan we have. I think even in 5,000 we had crop. So here we have Omanyala. Let me do that thing, ting, ting, ting. Then he does ting, ting, ting. And then he does something like this. And that. It's a cute thing to watch. Watch him, Omanyala. He's a great guy. I like him. I think he's a guy you want to hang out with. I don't know what you're going to have with him, but I'll talk to him one day. I like his character. Yeah, the winning time. What do you want to know? The winning time, 100 meters? 9:87. You want to guess who did it? The cheeky Botswanese. Let's see. Tebogo, man, I got to tell you something, man. During my Olympics, I was advocating, or I was trying to give my what I call looking, like, how do you call it? Where you're kind of seeing a resurgence, where you come a renaissance, this idea that sprinters are going back to Africa. Well, I think we have a torchbearer, we have a pioneer, the front runner, because he's a front runner. The guy he starts to celebrate with 10 meters to go. And he's like, where they at? He wins. Man, he's a cheeky dude from Gaborone, Botswana, man. I tell you what, he's on the horizon. I think he's unbeatable so far from Olympics. I don't think he knows what seconds look like, or third, or whatever. Letsile Tebogo makes me proud, man, to see a country which, if I ask most of you, maybe Western people, you don't even know where Botswana is. I don't. I know it's somewhere south. Mozambique, Lesotho, down there, South Africa, you'll find Botswana right there. Gaborone. I know where it is. Yeah, right there. So your map should show you that. That's where my boy, Letsile Tebogo. You see, he hasn't been training. He just races now. That's how good the guy is. You see, he doesn't race it. He doesn't train. He just shows up, he races, gets his money, and he goes like this. And then he goes home in a private jet. I don't know. Man, I think that country has a new ambassador of a sprinter. It's good to see these guys just do their thing. It was a good night in Rome. It was a good night for all the athletes. And I take it back. I think the season doesn't end until what they call the Night of Olympics in Zurich, Switzerland. So I'm still with you, man. If you don't watch track and field, don't worry. You got me. Ponde la Riada, episode 42, is JKKC saying, "Mwah! Love covers all sin, and love makes you smile." Adios. Have a great weekend. I can't turn it off.